Hello, and welcome to Melodies by Concertos. It's a relatively new game being released in October, and currently has less than 2k visits. The tagline for this game is Hopeless Concertos. Concertos meaning a piece of classical music that features a soloist accompanied by an orchestra. I wonder if this means anything to the story. Anyways, let's go explore the game. The melodies we composed together were beautiful. Every night I would sit by the piano and listen to his beautiful music. DM7. He always played that chord, said it reminded him of me. It was how he ended every chord progression. His absence now is like a dissonant chord that hasn't yet resolved, leaving me unaware of how to continue my own progression. Sincerely, Concertos. It's a pretty cute Christmas tree, although it's lacking color. Actually, everything is lacking color. Even my own life. His room. Dot. Is he dead? His room. Worthless. I never thought it would actually come to this. I'm sorry. Looking back on it, this reminds me a lot of Our Bonsai Tree, where the door for the less fortunate character is blocked off. Oh, these are really cute artworks. This one looks a lot like, the style of panty stocking. Worthless. Worthless. The mirror didn't want to stare back. It seems like Concertos holds a lot of contempt for herself. Maybe that theory of not having color in your life has some merit to it. I guess this door? The conservatory. Heartbreak. I met him there. We both studied music theory. After a couple classes, we started to talk often. He even asked me to be his composer. Whoa. Are you to third base? Oh! Hello, you little shadow. Poking out of the closet was a small cat. Oh, it's a cat! You can barely see it. That's very cute. Allegro. A pair of glowing eyes stare back. This must be Allegro. Is it not your own cat? What? Feed Allegro. I'll feed you the souls of the damned, you shadow cat. Phone. Regret. Hey, can you give me a call? I think you left a few boxes in your room. No response. This line in retrospect makes me think about who she's texting. It's likely the guy she's in love with, but if we assume that he's dead, then it becomes even more depressing. Did she convince herself that he moved out? Wow. You sound amazing, he'd say. There's something about practicing in the park that makes me smile. A breath of fresh air. I'm glad you're here with me. Flower. I had finally been given the chance to show the world my gift of composition. He was everything I ever needed, really. However, there is one thing I noticed about him. What? Spill the tea, spill the tea. He lies. Dun, dun, dun. What is this? A record player? A record player. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. After lowering the needle onto the turntable, the record began to spin. ... Her. You used to love it when I played for you, didn't you? I still do, but it's just not the same, you know? You've been acting strange lately. Blank. Are you alright? Everything's fine. can you pass me my medicine? You've been taking this medicine for weeks, and you're still sick. Are you sure you're okay? The needle reached the center of the vinyl, shutting off the record player. Alright. Well, did he answer, like, at all? Needle reaches the center of the vinyl, shutting off the record. Okay. Whoever this kid is needs to go away. It's weird to have people join your game and harass you, but honestly, I don't mind. It takes 1 second for me to block you, so it doesn't matter. I urge anybody who doesn't like me or wants to troll me to keep doing it. It makes for a good story, and it kind of wastes your own time. Sonatas. Yeah, this kind of style also reminds me of, like, whatchamacallit, like Tristifi and, like, Detective Bailey, you know, his, like, other universe type stuff. Every night he sat on the roof of our apartment, alone. I guess he didn't know which night would be his last. That's what I'm assuming is happening. Death. Oh yeah, this definitely reminds me of the library. The vestigial library. It's you. You look stressed, anxious, afraid. Nah, not really. Are you alright? Is he alright? Great. I began working on what would be his final performance, unknowingly. Dang. A sonata. Once I was finished, he practiced the piece constantly. He told me that it must be played perfectly. Alright. That's a lot of pressure. I wouldn't want that to happen to me, like, come on. It also reminds me a lot of, like, you know, Your Lie in April, where, like, she's dying, he plays piano, and she plays violin. Pretty similar. A record player. After lowering the needle onto the turntable, the warped record began to spin. ... You've been taking a lot of medicine lately. Are you okay? Same conversation as last time. You never used to get sick this often. Oh, it's just a cold. Don't worry about it. It was like the most bold-faced lie. Are you sure, though? You don't look well, and I've noticed you haven't been eating. I don't even notice that. I've been busy with performances, you know that. I'll be fine. I'm going to get some fresh air on the rooftop. Call me if you need anything, alright? And if I don't respond, assume I'm dead. The needle reached the center of the cracked vinyl, shutting off the record player. Wow, that's like a really crappy vinyl if it shut off after like 10 seconds. Also, the troll appeared here too. Oh, what lengths will they go to achieve absolutely nothing? Oh, is this like a music room? Where you practice music? In the room? Also, that's a key. Her violin case. She always talked to the bassist during rehearsals. She made him laugh, and he made her laugh. All I could do is sit behind my piano and listen. If I learnt the violin, would he talk to me? I don't think so. I don't think that's why you would talk to people, because they know the violin. So what? It was featured on Miles Davis's Kind of Blue. Our bassist suggested the tune to play before we graduated. Probably because it featured a bass solo. I miss that. Miles Davis' So What features many solos, including the aforementioned contrabass solo. The song itself is built upon the chords DM7, and as we know, that's the bassist's favorite chord. Ooh, blood on the drum. Is that blood? Oh right. The The drummer got pretty carried away with his solo during our rehearsal of Caravan. Wait, so you mean Whiplash? Am I thinking of a different story? Maybe. Piano seems locked. Maybe there's a key somewhere? I have a key. I used to play this piano during rehearsal. Sometimes I'd even catch the bassist taking a glance at me. I was nervous to speak to him. I feared I wasn't good enough for that. But I couldn't stop thinking about him, regardless. I heard him say he likes a certain chord. What was it again? To open the door, simply play DM7 on piano. Oh. Hello? In here is a bunch of notes. If you want to read them all, I suggest you go and explore yourself. But basically, Concertos gets jealous of the violin girl because the bassist talked to the violin girl a lot. To get the attention of the bassist, Concertos learned the violin, and it worked. They got together to play together. He needed a violinist as his accompaniment for his recital, and Concertos, hiding all her glee, obliged. But the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. While we were practicing, his ringtone went off. He paused while he stared at the call, who was from looking towards me. I've got to take this really quick. Run through it a few times without me. He immediately left the room, taking his book bag with him. I looped a few measures to get the notes under my fingers while he was gone. Once I stopped to take a break, I stepped outside to see if he had still been there. 4 hours seemed to have gone by, and it had been the early hours of the morning. I packed up my violin somberly and walked back home. 4 hours? That's an egregious amount of time to wait for someone. I know Concertos is in love, but she's being a doormat. I know he's probably getting a call about his disease, but also value yourself more than waiting 4 hours for a person. Why can't we go back to how things used to be? We were supposed to have a happy ending. Yeah, me too. Take me back to that moment. Please. I want to dream again. I saw a prescription note poking out of his instrument case. That's a weird place to put a prescription note. It showed the history of dosages for some strange medicine he'd been taking. Every time he reassured me, I still felt alone. I was unknowingly conducting the tragic symphony of someone who completed me. Why didn't he just tell me? Maybe he cares about your time too much to worry about those things. A weeping composer, writing countless mindless melodies to someone she might never see. A looming shadow of regret followed her throughout her pursuit for happiness, following her throughout her love for music. Concerto. We're up. After the performance, we walked beside each other until it was time to head our separate ways home. Thank you for all this, Concerto. I know I had to go a few times, take a few calls, but you still stayed true to your word. Oh, of course, I didn't want to disappoint you. Well, you've amazed me. I want to ask you something, Concerto. Huh? What do you think about if we... I like to relive that moment a lot. The first time that someone wanted to be mine. Even if it costed them everything. That was a beautifully depressing myth. I wonder how the story will progress, because there's still a ton of books lying about the house. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Have a good day and goodbye!